Hey folks, in my last video I've touched on things like the afterlife and the use of psychedelics. I appreciate all the feedback and wanted to dig a bit deeper into the afterlife. Now, I honestly doubt anyone truly knows what happens after they die, whether it's mystics, priests, or the New Age preachers. What I think is that consciousness itself doesn't die. The fact that we have self-awareness is a huge thing. What's extremely frustrating is that none of us have any idea why we're here, where we came from, or what's to come next. Some are almost certain about one thing: we don't just die and go into the ground with the lights out forever. I honestly wouldn't mind if that were the case, but I'm almost certain there's life beyond death. This is where many speculate about mind wiping that occurs after death. Someone once dared me to try a very high dose of psychedelics, and it would prove to me once and for all there's life after death. I didn't feel the need to do that, so I didn't take on the challenge. What I'm really seeking, like many, is what happens and how we can return home to Source, a place where there's none of this duality nor pain and suffering. At the end of the day, I do think we are all powerful creators and contain a divine spark within. Maybe we're just inside a simulation like a video game we've created. I know it's frustrating that we all have to live day to day in these bodies we're seemingly trapped in. There's no off button, or a way to quit playing as far as I know. Some even say it wasn't supposed to be like this, but somehow certain beings got a hold of our minds and are using our physical vessels as energy source. According to certain esoteric traditions, ancient texts, and even whispered modern theories, there's a light when you die. But it isn't the end. It's the beginning. Again, a cycle reset, a mechanism not of liberation, but of return. The theory suggests you float free from your body, confused but lucid, and then the light appears. But this light isn't a gateway to heaven or some higher plane. It's a lure, a soul trap. What I say is, why do people all seem to imagine this light after death? Why not something like a room full of donuts or ketchup? It always goes back to the image of a black space with a light. Either way, I think stuff which Howdy McCoskey suggests, like lucid dreaming, is a good start. Howdy has mentioned his near-death experience several times, and thinks this place is a hell realm where souls get recycled. He suggested that light beings are tricksters, who will try everything to get you to fall into the light trap. This happens over and over again with near-death experiences, not just Howdy. Maybe it really is something for us who want to get out of here should know. There's just so much to it, which leaves many of us scratching our heads. I just don't know how so many people I've asked actually wouldn't mind coming back to this world. I'm not making this up. I've asked close friends, relatives, and even a few co-workers about the idea of reincarnation. Just about all said it's not so bad. It could be that people like me are a minority. What's funny is, this all hit me about 5 years ago. I wasn't necessarily searching for things like the afterlife, but I was attracted to conspiracy theories. Then, other strange stuff started happening in my life I've never seen before, such as repeating numbers some refer to as angel numbers. One day, I don't know how I stumbled across a video talking about the light being a trap, which I never thought about. As more time went on, I've learned about psychedelics and how they can alter your perception of reality, and how some say it feels more real than what we experience now. Psychedelics and near-death experiences have been things I've been overly curious ever since, along with hidden meanings, numerology, and sorcery. I guess some of us are just curious about the unknown. What I do know without a shadow of a doubt is there are unseen forces that can manipulate events in our lives or life script. I'm talking about things like Kabbalic practices, voodoo, candle magic, or Ouija boards. I can't say the same about prayers. Maybe I just don't have enough faith, or maybe it's because you shouldn't pray to anything outside of you. Supposedly, an all-powerful, perfect God, or so they say, created everything perfect. No death, disease, yada yada, you know the story. Upon the sin of one man brought forward death, as if staying nude and unconscious is better. I mean, you're overall happy, but ignorant. Sometimes I think our minds are like a hard drive that's been wiped about 98% clean. There's still a tiny portion that still resides in us, but are almost inaccessible data. I just don't know. There's just too much injustice in this world to believe a loving God created it. In many instances, you hear stories about earthquakes and tsunamis being caused by an angry God. But did anyone ask why the other half, including children, had to die? As if children are extensions of their parents. But doesn't the Bible say we're all individual souls? It just doesn't make sense. You also hear crap like generational karmic debts, and how the children being born will have to make up for their parents' sins. This is why I won't have children no matter what. I'm not playing the game. Oh, and the so-called gods also cursed us with lustful desires of the flesh. I just had it with this realm. There's no amount of bribery or blessings one can offer me to go through another life in this hell. In fact, I will fight and destroy anything that gets in my way. There's nothing to fear. The only reason some of us are still afraid of things in the world is because there's fear sensors built into us. If archons are real, and they're the gatekeepers of this illusion, they won't stand a chance once fear is removed from the equation. Whatever you do, don't let fear get in your way. It's the greatest weakness holding you back. When you do die, don't fear the archons or anything that appears to you. They should fear you instead. Whoever or whatever they are obviously aren't all powerful, or they would have killed us long ago. It's obvious they still need us. They may be able to screw with us while we're in a physical body, because we have things like fear sensors. It's one of those things I experience during sleep paralysis, because the subconscious takes over. Once I know what's going on, I dare whoever is toying with me to try it again. Of course, the cowards won't do it. Sleep paralysis is for another video, but it's one of those things where you feel your body can't move, and like there's an evil dark presence around trying to possess you. At first, it's scary when you're still in between the dream state and awake, but once you're awake, it's over. Overall, I think we need to overcome all types of fears, including death itself. Death of the body will mean nothing, because we won't need them when returning to Source. Don't fear anything. Don't fear hellfire, archons, or anything, because true divinity comes from within.